Everything was about to happen. I was about to start eating a lot of acid. So were my bandmates. We were about to transform from a garage band, or technically a music store blues band, to the soundtrack band of the psychedelic revolution. The long, strange trip was about to kick in. The summer before my senior year in high school, I started dating a girl named Brenda, and we had the kind of romance that really blossoms in the schoolyard. We loved making out at the train station and fogging the windows up in the car. The very first time we made love, I got her pregnant. I remember it. It was in a blue light, cheap motel. I even remember the street it was on, El Camino Real. We'd been wanting to do it for days and days. You know how teenagers are always swinging for the big home run. When you're 17 or 18, you're at the top of your game. You can't be held back. And contraceptives were about as foreign to us as Social Security. So that was that. Brenda had red hair and freckles. She was cool, she was beautiful, and she was my first real girlfriend. I tested the waters with various girls before Brenda, but even at that age, I was a relationship guy. I liked to stick to one at a time. And it worked. For a while, anyway. When I got Brenda pregnant, there was never any talk of an abortion. That wasn't really common back then, so it never even crossed my mind. And besides, she was going to have the baby anyway. So she gave birth to Stacy, my daughter. Our daughter. Stacy was born on July 3rd, 1964. I wanted to be an upstanding guy because my dad raised me that way. So even at that young age, I thought I should get married and have the kid and have a job and have an apartment and play drums in a band and still go to high school. Forget it. It doesn't work. Something had to give, and it wasn't going to be my band. I was too young to have a daughter. I was still just a son myself. But once the baby arrived, I had to be a man, or at least try. It wasn't a shotgun wedding, but I didn't exactly propose to Brenda. I simply took her to Reno and married her there. I was 18, but you had to be 21 to get married, so I faked that I was of age. That's also how I got out of the marriage. A few years later, I had it annulled. My dad was an attorney by then and said, "You weren't 21. It was never a divorce because it was never a real marriage." It was hard on Brenda and Stacy, but what can I tell you? I didn't make the best decisions when I was 18, as far as those kinds of things went. There was so much going on in my life. Haight-Ashbury had just come alive. I was plugged into that whole scene. I was making electrifying new music with the band that was soon to become the Grateful Dead. That was a big transition time. It was the summer of '65. It was hard to be a husband and a father. In the end, I wasn't able to do it. Our apartment wasn't free, neither was starting a family. So I would give drum lessons at students' homes while Brenda and Stacy would wait in the station wagon. And I also taught drums at a music store in Palo Alto called Dana Morgan's, named after the owner. The same place where Jerry Garcia was teaching guitar. At night, after the store closed, Garcia and some of the other employees would take the instruments off the wall and play music right in the shop. This may have been Pigpen's doing. He swept floors or something there, and he really wanted to form an electric blues band. That's what he listened to. That's what he loved. His dad was a DJ at a local radio station and had a tremendous record collection. It was all blues music, so that's where Pigpen was coming from and where he wanted to go. He was able to get Jerry and a young kid about my age named Bob Weir on board for this thing. They were all in Mother McCree's Uptown Jug Champions together, covering jug band material and playing out. Back at the shop, they started playing rock music on electric instruments. That's when Jerry called asking me to join this new group. He was now on electric guitar, Weir too, Pigpen on harp. They recruited Dana Morgan's son, Dana Jr., to play bass, mostly because his dad owned the music store, which meant his dad owned the instruments, which meant the band had instruments. Dana Jr. gave me a sparkling gold drum set, a Ludwig, and he also supplied